So, greetings, Karen Clay here, Feldenkrais practitioner. We're going to work the next few weeks on how to get up and down from lying down. So, some of you may recognize this, that when you are sitting and you decide you want to go down to lying, that this is how it happens, and I'm going to do it in slow motion. Watch the tension in my abdomen, watch the arching of my back, watch the tension in my neck, and then you go, huh, that's a big ouch. Don't like to do that. And some of you, when you get up, do the same thing. This. Right? So you come straight up, which is really hard on your spine. So we're going to work incrementally on a series so that you can learn how to get to and from the floor really comfortably. So we're going to start in a side lying position. Most of you will be comfortable lying on your arm, your bottom arm. So I'm lying on my right side, so my right arm is down. Some of you will prefer a yoga block or a pillow so that your shoulder, if it's cranky, can be more comfortable. So whatever's better for you. I'm going to demonstrate it both ways. The top knee, so that's the left knee, is on the floor, not on top, knees on top, but in front of the bottom knee. And they're kind of close together. Your top arm, which is your left arm, is palm down, elbow up on the floor. So just take a minute and begin to move your elbow forward towards the wall in front of you and back. And you'll notice what that small movement, you're not trying to go as far as you can go. You're not trying to see where your limitation is. You're not trying to achieve a result. You're just simply exploring this forward and back movement to notice what it creates. And you may feel like, well, there's really not very much going on. My elbow is going forward and back. But what if you start to pay attention to the bottom side, to the right side of your armpit, to the right side of your upper ribs, to the right side of your waist? You'll notice that your side is moving on the floor, that it's rolling a little bit forward and back. Does your head move at all? There are two ways that your head, well, there's at least two ways your head could move. Your head could roll forward and back. That means that your nose could point towards the floor, and then your nose could point a little bit towards the ceiling. As your head rolls on the surface of your arm, if you're using a block or a pillow, you'd still experience that same rolling. Rolling forward and back. Some folks go down and up. Some folks go forward and back. It actually depends on a preference developed at birth. One of your sides is a side that you like to extend to, and one of your sides is a side that you like to fold to. We'll talk about that more later. So now that you're here, see what else is moving. Is your knee? Is there any movement in your knee, however tiny? Maybe it's not really moving on the floor, but the skin, the bones are moving inside the skin a little bit. Now, what happens if you keep the hand still, or the elbow still, but you just move the knee forward and back? So that still creates that same rolling, but it's creating it from the bottom to the top. And you can feel how that affects you. Again, you're not trying to achieve anything with this movement. You're not trying to find out how far you can go. You're staying well within comfort, well within ease, because this isn't about bigger is better or more is better. So now let your elbow and your knee move. So you can really feel how you're rolling forward and back through all of yourself. You might feel the bottom side, so the top side of the pelvis, you can feel, if there was an arrow pointed, is moving forward and back. This is the arrow pointing out of my pelvis, or it's actually my thigh right here. But the bottom one is also doing the same. It's rolling forward and back. So when the top hip rolls forward, the bottom hip rolls back. When the top hip rolls back, the bottom hip rolls forward. So you have all of these dimensions to pay attention to. And believe it or not, this is going to help you get up from sitting. So now take a break and roll onto your back. Lengthen yourself out and just take a minute to sense what you notice in terms of how the two sides are different. So the bottom side, which was the right side, received a whole bunch of information, a whole bunch of sensory contact, a waking up. So you may be quite a bit more aware of your right side than the left. It might feel bigger or wider or more alive. You may be aware of this upper part of your rib cage, which most of us don't have a lot of awareness in. So we're going to do the other side just so that you have a chance to really get this. I'm going to demonstrate it again on the other side. So you would either start resting with your arm on your shoulder and your top knee forward of your bottom. So this is the right knee on forward of the left. This is the left arm on the floor. This is the right palm down. And you begin just moving the elbow. Why don't you start even smaller and even smaller than that? So it's almost incremental. And then would you slow it down, please? So there is really no kidding, nothing to do. Even the mechanical part of the movement is almost gone. And so this really gives you a way to focus your attention on the minute changes that are happening between the bottom side of your ribs, your waist, your pelvis, your knee, as you ever so slowly move your elbow straight forward and straight back. If you have trouble with your wrist, you're welcome to move with your fist, so it's no big deal. And again, you can use something under your head. So many things to look at. Where do you feel the most contact? Through your pelvis, through your ribs, through your shoulder, through your head, through your knee. Maybe it's your knee. Does your head roll down and up, meaning chin towards the chest, chin away from the chest? Or does your head roll nose towards the floor and nose towards the ceiling, or some combination? Is your knee, your top knee, your right knee already beginning to move within the skin? Just the bones kind of moving inside the skin, not really sliding on the floor yet. And would you pause your arm and then begin to slide your knee forward and back? Now your knee's not going to slide forward and back all by itself, is it? You'll notice that it's going to pull the rest of you along in a very interesting way, pulling you from the bottom to the top now, rather than the top to the bottom. And so now go ahead and add your elbow and your knee so that you're fully using yourself to roll along that side, along that part of your circumference, the circumference of your torso that most of us have very little awareness of. And it's the sides that really help you make transitions, like getting up from lying down or lying down from sitting up. This will help you get in and out of bed, up and and down from the floor, etc. So we'll stop there, roll onto your back, and take stock again of how you sense yourself against the floor. Now that both sides have gotten all of that tactile stimulation, all of that sensory information, and that new awareness about your sides. And so as you continue on your day today, maybe you'll be someone who starts to notice how your sides are involved when you turn to look around yourself or when you walk, that they're really a very important part of mediating action. So I'll be back next week with the next part of this lesson. Thanks so much for watching, and my website I'll give you next week.